What's up, guys? I'm gonna see how this flows at 6 a.m. in the morning. Just woke up, headed over to my usual Thursday morning body work appointment. You know, when you're in a sport that is predicated on the quality and quantity of human movement, like our sport in CrossFit, you got to make sure you're taking care of your body. But it also lets me jump to my next thing. Is I also want to make sure you guys are taking care of your mind. Okay, your mind when it comes to sport is so important. I think a lot of times we think of game time mentality, and that is so crucial to have that kind of mentality where once you're on the floor, or once you're on the court, or once you're on the field, that you've got to be able to step up and you've got to be able to execute what you've been practicing. Okay, because your practices, you know, if you have a good coach or a good program, or you program for yourself, it doesn't really matter. I know a lot of people think that matters a lot, but personally, I don't believe that it matters as much as people think. What I think matters is you have a program that you're sticking to and you're really, really committed to, and that you are taking very serious. So that way, everything you do at 100%. So back to the game time mentality and taking care of your mind. That is important. But if you're not practicing almost like a game time mentality when you're in the gym, and I see this a lot. I see people walking from station to station. I see people walking from barbell to pull-up rig. In competition, if you're not used to running in transitions or jogging or walking quickly, or, you know, not spending a whole lot of time at the chalk bucket, but reaching in, getting your chalk and getting back onto what you're supposed to be doing, if you're not doing that in practice, i.e. in training, it's very tough to make that switch when you're in competition. Okay? And you will see the athletes who are very disciplined in that. And I say this because I've seen the contrast. I've been the contrast. Okay? I know what it's like to walk when you're supposed to run. I make a living holding onto the bar for maybe two extra reps or 3 extra reps, and then walking when everybody else can still run. Okay? Big sets matter when they should matter, when it's the end, or you know, in the beginning. Yes, it can matter, but your transitions will add up over time. So your mentality, you know, taking care of your mind is almost the same as taking care of your body, right? You have to make sure that you're doing maintenance on it daily. Hey, am I running fast enough between these? Am I keeping the right mentality that's going to transfer into competition? Am I focused enough mentally to perform physically? So your mindset is not something that you can only work on in competition. It's something that you work on in the gym. Another way you can take care of your mind, and I've had this conversation with a few athletes lately, it's how many snaps are I've taken up on this thing? Anyway, another way you can take care of your mind is by not letting yourself just, how do I say this, haphazardly add volume to make up for a lack of intensity. Don't haphazardly add volume to make up for a lack of intensity. So I hear that all the time as well, is that I haven't done enough work and I need to do more in order to feel like I had a good training session, right? But in reality, the volume is so low that the intensity is so low that the volume gets added to make up for a mindset that really wasn't ready to really grind and explode when necessary. Okay? So think about that. Think of a race car driver. He's like, oh, you know, I didn't win that race. Should have went a little faster. So can we just add like 20 laps to this race to make up for that? Or if you're a quarter-mile racer, can we just make this like a mile instead of a quarter mile? Because a quarter mile is just not quite far enough, right? You have to know your sport. And if your sport is CrossFit, if you spend 5 hours going from Metcon to Metcon, okay, with the intensity level of, let's just say, I don't know, a mile run when your race is really supposed to be a quarter mile, that's not good. Okay, that's a mental problem. Okay, that's how it should be. Is you should be looking at that as a mental problem and learning how do I have a mental switch in that. Don't think of yourself having a physical problem. Like, physically, I just can't go fast enough. Mentally, you need to learn how to step up and really put your foot on the gas. So there's a whole lot of things, you guys, that transfer physically. They transfer into competition, but then also for somebody who's just trying to get better, you can look at that and you can say, hey, maybe I don't need more quantity. Maybe I just need more intensity. And I would say typically that's the answer, more than quantity, is you need more quality of intensity. We added up the number of minutes that I worked out last year at the 2015 regional, and I believe that number was 47 minutes grand total. Okay, over 3 days. I was very sore. Okay, so think about that when you're programming. Do I need to do 4 more hours of training today in order to get the training stimulus needed to do well at regionals? Well, if you worked out for 4 hours in one day and you didn't space it out right, then you literally did 4 times, almost 5 times, maybe that is 5 times as much work as the 45 minutes that I did at regionals. Okay, so there's always that balance. More is not always better. Intensity is always better. Right? So have that mindset, right? Take care of your mind. Make sure you're doing enough maintenance and check and look back on that to see if you're really improving in the areas you need to improve. 6 a.m. ramble. There you go.